Assalamu alaikum. I'm Malik Hodge, an engine warrior of the Midwest and a messenger of the covenant. Representing the messenger of the covenant, the breaker of the seven seals, the self-taught one, Master Suleiman, who's given us the Injil, the gospel of revelations with the Injil key that gives us the understanding of the unsealed scriptures. The Holocaust. The 466 years of terror and horror that they inflicted on the black man and woman. This is the period of time that they want to call critical race theory. They want us to believe that we were just slaves. However, we were not just slaves. If we was just slaves, would they be worried about their judgment? Would they be worried, or if we were just slaves, wouldn't they allow us to just share with their children that what happened with these just slaves? Oh, they was just slaves. And slavery is minimum overhead or maximum profit. However, we were kidnapped from our land. We lost over 100 million to 200 million in the mid-Atlantic slave trade. Millions of us, men, women, and children, was killed. Lives lost. We were downgraded into less than an animal. We were called animals. We was taken out the human family and called animals. We was treated as animals. We was whipped, beat, mutilated, amputated. We was castrated, raped, sodomized. We were hunted. We were used. Our skin was used to make belts. Our heads were cut and put on plaques like elk, ducks, goose, bear skin rugs, nigga heads, nigga skin belts with ears on them, black man skin boots. We were used for bait. Our children was used for bait to catch crack alligators. They set their foot on our children's back. Our children was footstools, fly swatters. We were not even allowed to eat. Our children had to sit up under tables to get the scraps like little dogs, like they had their dogs do. Eat off the floor. Eat what falls. We were hung, lynched. We had no laws made for us. We were dehumanized. Our children was put into cages and told that they were animals, treated like animals, raised like animals for centuries. So much so they didn't know anything but being an animal. We were fed shit, literally. We were fed in troughs. The bad parts, the hulls of the corn, the bad parts of the grain, mixed with water and whatnot, and with chitterlings, the shitterlings, and pulled down a trough and made to eat it. Wasn't nothing cooked. We was treated as animals, like animals. We was worked from sun up to sundown. We was inflicted, tormented from 24/7, 365 for 466 years. There was no peace, no justice, no equality. Nothing was there. Excuse me. Nothing was given, or there was no justice. No, there was nothing but terror and horror inflicted on us as a people consistently. Not a break, no time, no breaks at all. There was no changes. There was transformations of the same treatment. They found other ways to keep this torment and terror going. They went from 1 degree to the 1 degree and twisting it in other ways to keep the same pressure. The same, they kept the same to keep us in the same condition continuously, never to relinquish their hold on us as a people. They've never relinquished their rule or their ways. They never have made any attempt to atone. I'm using that word atone, or for what they've done. They've never repented or they have never admitted that they have done any wrong and insist that they are righteous people doing the will of God. They've tormented us even in life and after life, after death, with this spook God, this Jesus, that if you don't mind or you don't do what masters say, or you don't be a good slave or a good nigga, then you're going to be tormented after you die by this white Jesus that is going to torment you for the forever and ever. So our people was terrorized into these beliefs, and they never had any peace in life. So the only thing that kept them going is thinking or keeping their mind on after they die, they would find somewhere this peace of mind that they never received, not one day of, in their lives, because they were here being, by the hands of America, being tormented and in this Holocaust every day. So they want to call this a theory. Proof, all this proof of everything that they've done. They don't want to say that this is what we've done. They'll never admit to it. It's a theory. It's not a fact, but it's a fact. And this time that they're in, this judgment, this time of unprecedented trouble, is the consequence for the Holocaust that we have endured through for 466 years. So we're going to get into our topic. We're going to go right into it. We're not going to allow them to say that we was just slaves. No. This is a theory. No, these are facts. We have been terrorized in this Holocaust since we've been brought here. So let's get into our topic. Our topic today is the great and dreadful day of the coming of the Lord, a time of unprecedented trouble. It's a great and a dreadful time. So it's like a dual, it's a positive and negative reaction, a dual motion happening at the same time. So you have those that are receiving this great blessing, this great day. They're moving into this new time and era, this future, this time of greatness, and they're moving into this time of they're getting rid of Satan, and the devil. They're moving into this new earth, new heaven and new earth. At the same time that this one is being manifested, this new is coming in. At the same time, one is being taken out. And it's a dreadful time for those that are being taken out, because their end has come to their due date. Their time is up. So it's a dreadful time for those that are going to witness their end. But in that is a time of consequence. It's a consequence to being judged, and one that has just went through a 466 years of unprecedented trouble, a time that no man on the planet has went through, that he was taken to zero, made an animal, and had to live up under this terror and horror for 466 years. The consequence for those that have afflicted God's chosen people, they're receiving the consequence for what they've done. They are being judged as we speak. Their judgment is come for what they've done to God's chosen people. So one is being taken out. One is being made whole or brought back to life and brought back into his mind, given his mind back. And then after receiving his mind back, he's able to transform and go into creating his heaven, creating his heaven. At the same time, one is being taken out. So this time of unprecedented trouble, we as a people have went through a time of unprecedented trouble. Tortured, burned, mass killings, we've been butchered, hung, just literally slaughtered. Our children have been fed to animals, used for bait. Our women have been trampled with fetuses in their bellies and trampled with horses and pushed their fetuses out of their wombs. We've been eaten. We've been science lab rats for them. all these horrors and terrors that we have went through, no one came to ease our state. No one came to relieve us from this. We've had to bear the horrors and terror for 400 years. And that consequence has came up on this nation. And those that have afflicted the true seed of Abraham, God's chosen people, and they're being judged for this time of unprecedented trouble that they put us through. Now, at the end of this time of unprecedented trouble, a time never seen before of unprecedented trouble begin. So at the 400 years period, 2019, because our condition started and the 1619 project that Thomas Jefferson wrote up, started. The 1619 project ended in 2019. 2020, that 2019 was the 400 years, and our time of unprecedented trouble was over. Now we are self-imposed this time because we haven't pulled ourselves out of the condition. Our condition now is self-imposed. So 2020 came in with a plague. A plague that will kill the firstborn of Egypt. This time of unprecedented trouble, it said there's a few things that's going to happen. First, this plague is going to kill the firstborn. And we have to be prepared, and we're building our we as a people have to be able to make this transformation when this point in time when this unprecedented trouble takes place. So what is getting us to this time of unprecedented trouble? During this time, we're sharing what's going to happen. Those that are with the Suleiman, this time of unprecedented trouble, that is going to take place is a time. So it's a time that is going to be condensed down into a 1 year period. So this 466 years of unprecedented trouble that we endured through is going to be condensed into a 1 year period. So all of that unprecedented trouble of 466 years that we witnessed, that's why it's shared that this time of unprecedented, this is never seen time. This is a time of never seen of unprecedented trouble, because all of that is happening in 1 year. So the collapse of it, the magnitude of it is so severe that it's going, that time of unprecedented trouble is going to take and destroy and start and shape, cause, it's bringing in and taking, it's taking a whole it's taking a people out of existence. So that it's taking one out of existence and bringing one back into understanding of itself, and bringing that one, the people, into who they are, and their power, and is going to be they're going to be able to produce their vision of they're going to be able to live out in this new heaven and this new earth. But one is being taken out, and it's the repercussion or the consequence from the first us going through unprecedented trouble. So it's a dual event, like a positive and negative happening at the same time. So as we get into this time, we know that what to be looking, we're sharing with you what to be expecting and what to look forward to, and what you will be seeing, and what you will see before the time that this unprecedented trouble begins, and what will be causing this time of unprecedented trouble. And that's going to be brought on as we've been sharing. The abomination of desolation is the event that will take place before this time of unprecedented trouble. The abomination of desolation is going to be brought about from the JCPOA. So the JCPOA is the agreement that they want to make with Iran to keep them from acquiring nuclear weapons. However, we know at this time Iran has shared that they have the capabilities to create a nuclear weapon. They have enriched uranium to 60% and can in days enrich it into 90%, and they have the technology to produce a nuclear weapon if they want to. So, False Israel, in compliance with that, has made a declaration with America, Saudi Arabia, and 6 other Sunni nations that they're all committed in thwarting Iran from acquiring a nuclear weapon. So, in that Iran and Syria is Michael's angels, which is Master Muhammad, and they will be going to war with the dragon and his angels. The dragon is Saudi Arabia, and their angels is Britain, America, and False Israel, and those that have made this alliance with them. So the abomination of desolation is what's sitting in the front of this, and it's caused the trigger to that. It is the JCPOA, which we see they're not going back into the time with that's taking place with False Israel. They know they have to make a move. They made statements saying they must go. They must take out military actions against Iran because they're not going to. It's a their nuclear program is a state is a what is it? Is a national threat to False Israel, and they cannot allow this threat to exist. So, with what we're seeing with Biden and everyone looking on, knowing, unsure of what's really taking place, and knowing that his weakness and his sicknesses are being made ever so clear, that False Israel has to make a move. So they're sharing that they will make their move, and over the last week, these declarations from America and to back False Israel and to provide them with the necessary military equipment to take the out strikes on Iran, that you're able to see what's actually taking place. So what this is before this time of unprecedented trouble, this is what is going to cause this unprecedented trouble, this war in the Middle East. And when you see False Israel, when you see America kicked out the Middle East, and Britain kicked out the Middle East, you're going to see False Israel sieged and then destroyed. That's going to be the shock of the hour. The shock of the hour is the time that everyone sees what's been shared with them, and they're going to see the true seed of Abraham without a shadow of a doubt. There will be no lies or nothing that they can pitch to put in front of the eyes of the people, of those that are the true seed of Abraham, and in front of the devils and the rest of the world. Everyone is going to see without a shadow of a doubt who the true seed of Abraham is. So with that, that's going to that at that time, this time of that at that time is the beginning. This is the time of unprecedented trouble that is ensuing immediately or simultaneously as these events take place, the time of unprecedented trouble is ensuing. So in this time, you're going to see what they're showing and telling you is famine. You're going to see wars. The first war, they're going to go immediately to war with Russia. Then you're going to see a war with Russia. I mean, you're going to see the European nations at war, period. All they're going to be at war because I don't. They're going to go to war. This time of unprecedented trouble with famine, gas shortages, inflation. That's just part of it, but it's going to be war inside of America, and immediately when they find out who the true seed of Abraham is, everyone is going to know exactly who those they are, or who the ones that afflicted the true seed of Abraham is. So they're going to know exactly what's taking place, which is going to cause them to rise up against the black man and woman in America. In this, there have this self-imposing spirit, and they will never see themselves at less than what they intend to see themselves. They see themselves as the ruler, and they're not going to see themselves other than that. So if they can't rule, they, as you see, they're take it all down. So they're going to attack us in trying to take us out. So if knowing that we're rising and we are the true seed of Abraham and they're the one that afflicted us, they know that this time that they're in their judgment, which is the time of their rule or their world to be taken out. So what would you do? You just got to think you have to take on the thoughts of your enemy in this position that they're going to be in. So they're going to attack us, and we have to come together. We have designated areas that we have to get to. Michigan, Chicago, Indiana, and other things as we move in, as things get hotter. More information will be given. However, we don't want to tell spill all the beans, because they'll be waiting to just wipe us out. So this time of unprecedented trouble, it's $466 years of terror and horror that they inflicted on us coming back on them in all condensed into a 1 year period. So the way they try to destroy us, they're going to be destroyed inside of a 1 year period. So the unprecedented is seeing all these things happen like overnight, instantly. That's what unprecedented is. When you see it took 466 years to see this change, but in 1 year, you're going to witness this time of unprecedented trouble that is going to wars and it said that babies will be gray head for just thinking that their parents is going to eat them. Their mothers are sneaking off having babies so that they can inquire either to protect their babies or to have them for a meal themselves. Babies going to be scared of adults because they might get ate. It's going to be famine, and they're not telling you that right now in America someone's destroying food processing plants. The heat is exhausting the agriculture system. Things are not growing. The locusts, the insects have hit very hard in this drought. So it's a lot of things, all these things that the scripture said, all these pestilence or plagues, these 10 plagues are going to happen in this 1 year period and cause this time of unprecedented trouble. It's a time like never before, never was. So what we went through in the Holocaust, all of that horror and terror, they're going to witness this and go through this in a 1 year period. And by them trying to get rid of us, they're the ones that are going to be disposed and got rid of. Their world is coming to an end. America the Great is falling. This whole system, democracy, communism, all of it is falling. It's going down. It's being taken out with this vision of the Abrahamic covenant from the one that has brought it to us, the messenger of the covenant, the breaker of the 7 seals, this Joshua, the Son of Man, the one that has given us this understanding, and the one that is sharing this knowledge with us for free, that you can see unfolding step by step in your face, mathematically giving understanding mathematically to the scriptures and to what's taking place in the world, and showing you how what's taking place in the world is directly involved with the Abrahamic covenant and directly involves the true seed of Abraham, and though you are the impact on the world of this change, how the the scriptures, or the Injil, the unsealed scriptures, how this is being brought in from the messenger of the covenant, how the resonance and this vision is being brought in. So in this time of unprecedented trouble, we'll soon be witnessing it. They will be, I mean, it's never before, something that never before. I mean, with all the wars and all the things that have happened on the planet, this is a time like never before seen. So you about to see things that haven't been seen. That's what you about to witness. You about to witness a whole nation of people taken out overnight. Not in no long period, in a year's period of time. So it's a dual, it's consequence for unprecedented trouble that we went through, to receiving an even greater time of unprecedented trouble as a consequence for putting us through a time of unprecedented trouble, the Holocaust. Now, their judgment is taking place in their going to be in a time of unprecedented trouble. So it's going to be severely intense, a time never seen. So so that's the message for today, that we're right at the tip of this time of unprecedented trouble. Any day, the war in the Middle East is going to spark the war in heaven. That war in heaven is, as that war begins, it's literally in sync with this time of unprecedented trouble. When you see America and Britain kicked out the Middle East, when you see Saudi Arabia go down, when you see false Israel sieged and then destroyed, this time of unprecedented trouble is in motion, and it's not going to subside from that point. It's going to get worse as the days go on, and you will, the time of unprecedented trouble will not, there won't be a break in it. It's going to carry out into the end of, it's not going to end. Just put it like that. It's the time of unprecedented trouble is going to keep going until it gets, till it is a hope. You will be, A lot of you won't even be able to, won't even be here to see the aftermath. You'll see it as you're going through it, and um, it begin any day. So, brothers and sisters, we're right at the tip, right at the peak of this time of unprecedented trouble. Is the response of this time, this 400-year period, because we have been living in a time of unprecedented trouble for the black man and woman of America for 466 years. Right now it's self-imposed. However, the consequence in this time of unprecedented trouble is in return, in the payback of putting the true seed of Abraham in a time of unprecedented trouble. So with that, I'm going to bring this segment to a close, and I'm going to thank you for watching. Brothers and sisters, read Abraham and Covenant. Read Exodus. Find out, why these things are happening. The understanding behind them. The following, how all these things that the scriptures, unsealed scriptures, have shared, and is coincidence with what's taking place in the world. You can't shake it. Everything is just as the unsealed scriptures said it will be. Everything is tuning and shaping up to look, and you can see it all like pieces of the puzzles being formed. Like you got to put this piece of the puzzle together, and this piece of the puzzle, and then this piece of the puzzle down here with the reds and the blues and the greens and the yellows and the different colors. So you got little pieces of the puzzles that you can see forming. And you see this storm, you see each of these pieces, and as you push the puzzle pieces together, the destruction is there. The truth is right there. So everything is being made to be seen clear. The puzzle is coming together, and soon you will see the puzzle formed all together. So with that, I'm going to bring this to a close, and thank you for watching, and greet you in the green words of peace of Assalamu Alaikum.